Hi, my name is Varun, and in this video I'd like to talk about my relationship with the hobby of repertory theater going. I've been going to repertory theaters for a while now. This hobby of mine started when I was in college. In the summers when I'd come back home to the Philadelphia area, I would go to the Colonial Theater, which, if you guys don't know, is where they shot the movie The Blob back in the 1950s, the one with Steve McQueen. And I first started out going out to see a lot of art house movies. There were contemporary movies that were getting good reviews. But I soon started getting into their classics programming, and around the time that I was starting to watch classic movies on my own at home. And yeah, I mean, there were a lot of movies that I saw there, like movies I'd seen before, like The Bridge on the River Kwai, movies I'd never seen that I saw for the first time, like Blue Velvet. I also started getting more into the genre film and cult film in that period of my life. And I remember that Blue Velvet screening. I go in, it's supposed to be this classic movie. I sit down in the theater, everybody's laughing, and I'm thinking, like, is this a bad movie? And by the end of it, I'm like, this is a masterpiece. So I think it's like an experience. Yeah, it's an old movie. You can get it on home video or watch it on streaming, but when you're in theaters, you'll just have a more memorable experience watching a movie like that. When I went back to Atlanta for school, I would go to the Plaza Theater, and I saw a lot of movies there too. I saw the house that Jack built there the day it came out, and that had a lot of walkouts. But it's always fun watching movies like that in an audience. I think that's what you just get a different experience than watching it at home, even if it's a movie you've seen before already. Like I saw Face Off at the Plaza Theater in college, and I remember it so distinctively because I'd seen that movie many times before. I think it's a great movie. I think it's a masterpiece. But just like noticing the moments where people laughed and like comparing that to like the moments where I laughed, that was a really special experience that like you do not get when you're just watching it by yourself or even with a couple of friends on your couch. Also, when I was in the Philly area after COVID hit, I started getting even more into cult movies and genre movies, and I started going to Philomoka, the Philadelphia Mausoleum of Contemporary Art. They do a lot of music shows, which I haven't been to, but I saw a Phantom of the Paradise there. I saw a couple of Bruce Lee's movies, and they show a lot of film prints along with Exhumed Films, which does a lot of genre programming in the Philadelphia area. I know they're very closely partnered with AGFA, the American Genre Film Archive. And I saw a lot of movies I would have never heard of, like Joe D'Amato movies, which are these like really gnarly Italian horror movies. I've gotten really into giallo over the last few years, but there's other subgenres of Italian horror that I'm not too familiar with that I really want to explore more. And they also do this really special screening of Eraserhead in a underground tunnel in an area called Eraserhood, where David Lynch lived when he was in Philadelphia, which was kind of the inspiration for Eraserhead. I don't know what that says about Philly, but I do know there's also an IPA named after that, which I've tried. It's all right, but this was fun. I went to the Bryn Mawr Film Institute too, which is in that area. They have more classic movies as well. I moved to New York last year, as I've said in the previous videos, and in the weekends when I'd come looking for apartments, I'd visit some of the repertory theaters here because, frankly, they have the best repertory theater scene in the world here, maybe outside of like Paris. But yeah, and I use ScreenSlate for all the showtimes. If you don't know, ScreenSlate.com is a website that has all the showtimes for repertory theater screenings in New York. So whatever's playing that day, you can check online there. I think one of the first movies I saw after I moved here, rep screening wise, was Lawrence of Arabia, which I've seen multiple times before. So Netflix, they own the Paris Theater now, which is in the Upper West Side. And I watched 70mm print, which was kept in very good condition, of Lawrence of Arabia at the Paris Theater. And having seen the movie several times before, it was astounding watching that particular print, even though it's a pretty small screen in the Paris Theater. Just the level of detail, visual detail that I was able to see projected there, and the way the colors popped out, and also just like seeing it with an audience, it was really, really special. I'm pretty sure every seat in that theater was sold out. I went to see this movie La Rue, which is this 7-hour silent movie at the New York Film Festival, which is that film at Lincoln Center. I don't usually go up to the Upper West Side that much because it's kind of a hike from where I live. There's some nice theaters there. It's just far. I personally, my go-to in terms of rep theaters is Metrograph. They have like a pretty good selection of like art house movies and like contemporary classics and newer movies too, and older movies, but they show classic movies you've heard of. So like if it's movies that you've seen before but you really want to see on the big screen, you'll get a couple times a year to watch those movies, which is really good. They have like a consistent repertoire that they run through on top of their newer stuff and like stuff they get in. I've been to Film Forum once. I saw Joyland there in a packed audience. It was an electric experience, and I should go there more. They have a lot more deep cuts than Metrograph, but yeah, I like Metrograph. I really like their popcorn. They have olive oil in their popcorn, which I haven't really seen anywhere else. And there's also the IFC Center, which is always doing a variety of different programming. There's so many movies playing there, and it's really conveniently located. It's in the East Village. So if you're in that area anyway and you want to just go watch a movie for a couple hours, it's great. There's always something playing that you want to see. Yeah, I want to see some of the other theaters. I've been to Anthology. Anthology I like. They have a lot of movies I've never heard of, a lot of art films I've never heard of. They also do like classics, which is good, and experimental films and different types of films that you normally wouldn't see. But it is kind of they do have a kind of a snobbish vibe. I get it, like it used to be a church, it's very austere, we really care about cinema. But they don't have any popcorn there, which is like, it's fine. It's like you want to respect cinema, you don't want to have popcorn there, but I mean, some movie theater, you can have a little popcorn, it's fine. But I do want to see some of the other theaters I haven't been to. I want to hopefully check all of them off the list this year. And I'm looking forward to seeing more rep screenings. Yeah, here's off to a great year of watching movies, even though there aren't too many great ones coming out in theaters, at least for a little bit. That's it for now.